Right everyone, today we're going to be looking at a GL Rey counter for when she has her ultimate ability. Now unfortunately this isn't 100% reliable with my current gear levels on the team. Right now I'm on a rough 70% win rate against some compositions, and this will not work against every composition out there unfortunately. But for what I'm using it isn't bad at all. As with each video so far I've slightly tweaked my Jedi Knight Revan team each time to adapt to changing circumstances, and once again we've done the same here. We've actually dropped Thrawn in favour of Grandmaster Yoda. Now you may be thinking, how are we controlling Rey so well? The answer to that is with her ultimate ability she'll always prioritise that over Whirlwind, which gives us a fighting chance. The overall goal of this squad is to proc Rey below 50% health before she uses her ultimate ability. Generally if we can do this we can win the battle. The bad news however is we need to make sure Saviour isn't proc before she comes out of her ultimate ability. Should we fail to do this our chance of victory drops significantly. Grandmaster Yoda is going to be offering a lot of benefits to this team once again, but primarily the ability to steal crit hit immunity from our opponents and pass it around to our team to reduce the overall damage we're going to be taking, which will hopefully prevent Saviour from going off too soon. We're also up against one of the top team compositions, which include GK and Gas, a squad that's been causing a lot of you many issues. It's very important Grandmaster Yoda is faster than the opposing team's Gas, so he can spread foresight before Gas uses his AoE to increase cooldowns. So as you can see from the footage, we're now using a full Jedi team with Jedi Knight Revan, Gas, both Yodas and Bastila. It's worth mentioning that ability block does not prevent GL Rey from using her ultimate ability. A little bit cheap in my opinion, but it's actually a lot better than her using Whirlwind, so the AI actually worked in our favour here if I'm being honest. We're going up against GL Rey with her ultimate, Res Hero Finn, R2, Gas and GK. As mentioned earlier, the Gas and GK combo is extremely annoying. Luckily though, Grandmaster Yoda and Bastila are going to offer us various tools we can use to neutralise them. Foresight from Grandmaster Yoda is going to stop Gas reducing the entire team's cooldowns at the start of the fight, and Bastila is going to apply buff immunity at times to GK towards the second part of the battle, which by the way is not a direct win condition, but it does significantly help our chances of winning. So as you can see, we're back to 3 Gear 12s and 2 Relic characters. Grandmaster Yoda might work at Gear 12, but I honestly can't say for sure. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you can get this to work with less than I have. I would be very interested to hear if so. This team will give you all a shot at beating these teams, although I'll mention again this is not a hard counter and generally won't work 100% of the time, but it's the absolute best I've managed to accomplish at this point, so I wanted to share it with you all. As for Zetas, as usual this squad we're going to need all 3 of Revan's, the Gas Basic and his chosen one Unique, which is key as it removes 20% of Rey's max HP each time he hits her while she has no protection. We also need Grandmaster Yoda's Unique so we can spread Foresight to our entire team frequently. In addition, we need Hermit Yoda's Strength Flows through the Force Zeta so we can help heal up our team's protection and grant even more Foresight to them. So moving on to their mods, very little has changed here, but we'll quickly go through again for anyone who hasn't seen my previous 2 videos on variations of this squad. So starting up we have our Jedi Knight Revan modded with a speed set and 2 fast mods, bringing us to a total of 320 speed. As always, speed is the only stat that matters with him, as we just need him to be able to keep up with marking GL Rey as much as possible, and to outspeed R2 should he be present. Be sure to also remember that his lead will grant himself and all Jedi allies an additional 35 speed, so be sure to calculate this in. Next up we have our Gas, who is modded with a crit damage and crit chance set with a total of 282 speed. As always, speed is important on him, but be sure not to skip having a crit damage primary on the triangle and an offense primary on the cross, so he's going to be able to put out the damage needed to get GL Rey out of the battle as quickly as possible. Next up is our Hermit Yoda, who's modded with a speed set and a tenacity set with a total of 246 speed. Now this isn't that great, the speed isn't even that fast, but it's good enough for me. Speed is the only thing you need to worry about on him as he cannot attack. Speed is going to increase his rate of heals and turn meter gain for your team. Up next is our Grandmaster Yoda, who we don't have modded as well this time as I didn't bother to move mods, which to be honest makes this even more of a success. Running a very average offense and crit chance set with a total of 251 speed. In terms of speed, the main factor here is that he's faster than the opposing team's Gas. This is a very crucial factor as you need him to steal crit hit immunity and pass Foresight to your team before the opposing Gas uses his AoE to increase cooldowns on your entire squad. And finally we have our Bastila, who's modded with a poor speed set, giving her a total of 223 speed. Do your best to beat this total though, as it's nice to have legendary battle meditation on Gas as much as possible, as the counterattacks will help get Rey down much quicker once she's marked. She's also going to need to keep up more than ever with ability block on GL Rey, given how we don't have Thrawn in this lineup to stall for more time. So let's go through the actual battle now. Starting up as mentioned earlier, our Jedi Knight Revan needs to be faster than their R2 and our Grandmaster Yoda needs to be faster than their Gas. This is going to allow us to mark GL Rey before R2 can stealth her, and for our Grandmaster Yoda to steal Foresight and crit hit immunity and pass it around to our team before Gas takes a turn. The reason why we need the Foresight and crit hit immunity is because when Gas crits anyone on our team, he's going to reduce our cooldowns, and this can really ruin the battle early on. The main thing is we're protecting our squad from cooldown increases right at the start of the battle, as Gas will use his AoE on the first turn. Once that's taken care of, we're going to play as we usually would, focus down GL Ray and keep our Gas out of danger while making sure we can get off as many hits on GL Ray with him as possible. As mentioned before, each time Gas hits GL Ray when she has no protection, he will reduce her max HP by 20%, so when it comes time to kill her, it will be significantly easier as she'll have much less HP to burn through when the time comes. We also need to do our best to have Bastila keep ability block on their GL Ray, as without Thrawn we're going to have a lot less room for error with this, as if Ray gets a whirlwind off we will lose Gas and almost certainly lose the battle. However, as long as none of the enemy team has dropped below 60% health, she won't be able to use this ability. So don't worry too much if this is the case, it may actually help as she'll use Lifeblood when possible, which removes her health. Play around with it yourself and see which you prefer. Either way though, you absolutely have to make sure you proc her below 50% health before she uses her ultimate ability. The good news is, however, once her ultimate ability is ready to go, she will use this over Whirlwind. Now during the ultimate, her entire team is immune to damage and all debuffs, so you just need to hold it together until she takes her next turn, at which point she'll deal massive damage to her entire team. Be sure not to mark her while she's in this state, as it will not land and be completely wasted. This is where having Saviour free is key, as this should proc on Jedi Knight Revan at this point, giving him 100% turn meter and ready to mark her, which should bring her close to death after a few follow-up hits from Gas. Don't worry if you lose Yoda or Bastila from the ultimate attack, as this is likely to happen. So as always now everyone, with Ray dead, we just need to clean up the rest of the team. This should not cause any issues at all as long as Gas is alive, but the opposing Gas is still a major threat for your team, so be sure to focus him down as fast as possible. Don't hold back, unleash everything you have on him, because he can easily ruin this run for you if he kills someone important on your team. Once this is done, just focus down the remaining team members, starting with Finn if possible. Next up, we're going to take a look at another battle in a few seconds and go through the process again to show you all this can be done fairly reliably. So this next battle is going to go pretty much the same, with no changes to tactics used. So as before, we're going to steal their buffs to prevent their Gas increasing our cooldowns, and then mark and focus down their GL Ray. Proc her under 50% health before she uses her ultimate to activate her turn of damage immunity. After that, we just need to survive her big hit and then we can take her out. I also feel it's important to mention that this team composition won't actually work if Ray doesn't have her ultimate ability, and this is because without her ultimate she would most likely start using Whirlwind, which is basically an instant death to Gas. If you're going up against non-ultimate GL Rays, be sure to check the top right corner of the video now and take a look at my guide for beating non-ultimate GL Rays. I also forgot to mention on the last match that it's extremely helpful to apply buff immunity to GK right after the ultimate ability ends, as this will ensure that any counter attacks from Gas will target GL Ray and not GK should he be taunting, which is going to make killing her just that little bit faster. Be sure to remember to make sure that above all else, Saviour is not procced before Ray's ultimate ends. Generally this should not be much of a problem, but should you notice someone's in trouble, be sure to utilise the heals from Hermit Yoda, and in a last resort Jedi Knight Revan himself. The reason why we don't really want to have to use Jedi Knight Revan's heal is because it's more of a last ditch effort to pass turn meter to Bastila, or even to Gas if we're in a situation where we're close to killing her and she's about to take a turn. I prefer to have it free to save me in a situation like that, but making sure Saviour isn't procced is the top priority. So same as always, once GL Ray is dead, you're pretty much in the clear. Focus down Gas quickly so there's no surprises, and then focus down the rest of the team. I forgot to mention that R2 will make Ray generally a little harder to take down due to number crunch, which will give her a boost to some of her stats, but most importantly HP. The good news is this team didn't have any issues at all taking this lineup down. As mentioned before though, this is not a hard counter and things can often go wrong. I'm going to quickly show you the mods of this team. The battles were against the same person, so only one set of mods will be shown on this video. So as you can see now everyone, this is our opponent's mods, and everyone's mods outside of Finn's are pretty decent. Unfortunately at the time of filming this was the only ultimate GL Ray in my shard, so I didn't have too much else to work with, which was a few weeks ago. I do feel if Poe was present it would have been a lot more damage for them to potentially waste our saviour early on, but I've gotten Ray myself now and I haven't been able to test this theory out. Please be sure to let me know in the comments if this team is working well for you and helping your daily arena climbs. And that's all for today everyone. I hope you all enjoyed this video, which will hopefully be my last coverage of this Jedi team, as I feel it's now at the point where it cannot be improved any further. This lineup in today's video is specifically for ultimate GL Rays, and as mentioned before won't work on non-ultimate GL Rays, so it can be a little confusing in that regard. I've been very busy the past couple of weeks, so I've missed quite a lot of development in terms of the general state of arena. At this point most people in the top 20s have GLs and are struggling with mirror matches or beating the newly buffed GL Kylos with their Rays. I think a lot of people feel very cheated that GL Kylo has been buffed after putting such a heavy investment towards Ray, which I personally feel is unfair. Thankfully I have answers to both of these problems, which will be answered in my next video. I'd love for you all to let me know in the comments on my Discord server which video you'd like to see first, a GL Ray mirror match guide or a hard counter to GL Kylo with GL Ray. As always everyone, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, join my Discord server and share the video with your friends. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you all very soon.